Hi. There's been a lot that's happened this past weekend, and I have not yet gotten a chance to discuss it here on my YouTube channel, and I'll explain why by the end of the video, I promise. But it definitely needs to be talked about and it needs to be said, and I want to address all of it right now and apologize for it. For those of you who don't know, there's been a clip that's been circulating on the internet, mostly on Twitter, and it is from a video that was on Steve's channel featuring myself, my husband Steve, and Shane Dawson. This clip was taken from the middle of a video, and in this clip it appears that Shane is making a very crude joke about Trayvon Martin and that all three of us are laughing at it. That clip is incredibly hurtful and horrific, and I 100% understand why people are mad about it. I'm mad about it. It's disgusting, and anyone in their right mind who sees that clip should be mad about it. People are dying right now while systemic oppression is still alive, and here you have three people seemingly laughing at the death of Trayvon Martin. That is not okay. That clip does not represent me at all. At all. When this clip first came out, it was midnight. I had no idea that it was coming. I was sleeping. I didn't handle it right. I didn't handle it right the first time at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't handle it right. I'm human. I have never experienced just waves of people calling you a monster and a racist and sending death threats to your friends and family, co-workers, ever. All I wanted to do in that moment was explain, apologize, and fix it. It ended up being rushed and extremely insensitive. We should have waited till morning to, really gather our thoughts and address it properly and do it right. But I was torn because I felt like letting this video clip circulate was going to hurt people more, and without context, it just felt like that was wrong too. I didn't know how to handle it. I absolutely did not, and I did it wrong. Ended up not taking full accountability, and that is what I want to correct today. Giving context and intention for that clip was not meant to take the place of responsibility. It was not meant to take the place of accountability. Our thinking at the time was that if you see a clip like this, you deserve an explanation, especially when it's coming from people that you thought you knew and trusted. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. I realized that even in context, this clip was still hurtful. This clip was from a video that Steve made on his trolling YouTube account in 2014. Steve is a comedian. He did a lot of controversial trolling videos on his channel. It was called the Shit Talking Challenge, and the whole premise was that it was a takedown of the challenge videos that were stupid and harmful and running rampant on the internet at that time. It was a complete satire of a challenge video in which there are no winners. The challenge was that there would be a list of really good, pure, impossible to roast people that you would then have to try to roast. It was designed to be impossible so that when you draw any name out of the hat, or the pot, any name, that you would be a complete and utter asshole if you even attempted to make a joke about that person. Other names on this list were Robin Williams, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Dr. Martin Luther King. We were meant to be the butt of that joke, not any of the names on the list. In order to be on that list, you had to be so good that someone would be freaking a monster to try to roast you. So when Shane drew that name and then made himself the monster by even attempting a roast, I laughed uncomfortably. Not at the death of anybody, not at the roast, because the roast was awful. Any roast by design was meant to be cringy and not anything any of us believed. To me, the joke was on Shane, but it doesn't matter because I was still there. I still did it. I still laughed, and I didn't say anything, and I'm sorry. It was extremely insensitive, as all of the names were insensitive. That was the nature of the bit. But the bit sucked. The bit was stupid, and a lot of people felt that us giving context to the clip was justifying the bit, and it absolutely wasn't. I'm sorry if it came across that way. We do not stand by that bit. The bit was stupid, absolutely stupid. That's why we took it down 5 years ago. We took this video down 5 years ago, not because we were getting called out on it, but because we didn't want it to hurt anybody. Comedy's very subjective. Obviously, someone's always gonna be offended, but there is a line. If it wasn't crystal clear that we were the target of the jokes, and if it was bringing up sensitive issues that took you out of the joke, and if it was punching down, then it's not funny. We were stupid. We have grown a lot since then, and I am so sorry that we ever thought that that was okay. In our original video, I apologized for the hurt I've caused, but I've been listening to you, and it came across as, well, you just didn't get the joke, or sorry you took it that way. And that's not okay either. I did not mean for that to be the message in our video at all. I'm deeply sorry for hurting anybody. So I want to apologize better, and I want to take accountability for what I participated in. Although I didn't personally write any of the names or put them in the bowl, it wasn't my video, it wasn't my channel, and it wasn't my style of humor. Even at that time, I understood the premise, but it was not my style of humor. It doesn't matter because I participated in it, and I willingly participated in it. And I did not do anything to correct anyone when I felt uncomfortable. So there's no excuses. It doesn't matter. I want to apologize to the family of Trayvon Martin. I am incredibly sorry. He wasn't just a name on a good people list. His name and his story represented a fresh wound in a long history of oppression and violence that still continues to this day. At the time, I didn't consider any of this to be racial because white people were on the list too. So dumb. So dumb. How can it not be racial when the thing that most people know Trayvon Martin for is that he was a victim of a hate crime? I am embarrassed. I am so embarrassed and sorry that I ever compartmentalized that before. I'm embarrassed that it took me so long to have deeper conversations, especially in the Black community, and to really learn the history of oppression in this country beyond slavery and Jim Crow laws, but the systemic oppression that's still in our prison systems and how I've benefited from it. I'm sorry that that took so long to learn. I'm sorry his name got brought up, and I am sorry that I ever thought that was okay. And I'm sorry to anyone else that was hurt by my actions. I'm sorry to anyone that I've disappointed, especially if you've looked up to me or I've been a voice of guidance at all. This wasn't okay. Not okay. Over the years, I have really changed, and I know that I've really changed, but I realize that not everyone watches me. Not everybody knows that. And anything that I've put out in my past can still come up and be harmful. I've been very transparent in the past couple of years, sharing extremely vulnerable parts of myself, especially through our podcast, in hopes that it'll help anybody who's listening who needs it. I'm very open about my truth and ways that I've changed and why I've changed, mindsets that I've been through and learned from, and it's always growing and it's always improving. I definitely never want to ever hurt people. But again, I know not everyone has followed me through any of that, and it's not their responsibility to know that about me. And if this is your first impression of me, I am incredibly sorry for that. While we're here, I also want to address another thing, which is JK News. JK News is a channel of friends who are reacting to news articles. Most of us have never seen or read the news articles before. While it's supposed to be jokey and funny and from a bunch of goofy idiots who don't know what they're talking about, I've definitely misspoke a couple times on issues that aren't jokey, that aren't light. Although I didn't intend to cause harm, I may have, from ignorance, from being misinformed, and from just generally not reading the news. We do so many articles in a day. Sometimes we're just trying to keep the energy up, and even though we're all tired and our minds are numb, we do 20 articles a day, and sometimes I don't even remember what I say. Most of the times, I don't even remember what I say. And that can be dangerous because I'm not really checking myself. And it's easy to forget that your words carry weight and can influence people even if unintentionally. Last year, I took a step back from JK News because of this, because it became increasingly scarier to misspeak about something. But when the quarantine happened, they needed me for the videos. So I stepped back in to help my friends out, and the world has only gotten more political and more heavy, and I'm increasingly scared of just saying the wrong thing or saying something I regret when I haven't fully formulated an opinion yet. You know, we speak out of our assholes a lot on that show, and on my channel, I like to have fully formulated an opinion before I deliver it to you, but that's just not possible on that show because it's all improvised and it's all just like conversations happening so fast, and it's hard to remember that they carry weight and they influence people. I do want to thank JK, especially a lot of the audience members from there, for calling me out. We have conversations. It's been a really good outlet for discussion, and I've learned a lot from you guys, and I really am thankful for that. You don't have to talk to me in the comments. You could be really mean, and some people are, but some of you have very articulate discussions, and it's so helpful. There's one specific time on JK News in particular that I want to talk about, and it was an episode where a Black female guest talked about how she couldn't get her hair wet. And I asked, why can't you get your hair wet? And she said, that's a sensitive topic, and also it's kind of privileged for you to ask that. And I got super defensive. And I just felt like, I'm just asking a question, like, you brought it up, why can't you answer it? Like, I don't understand, like, I just don't know, I wanna know. I even brought up how I went swimming with my Black friend and she didn't bring it up, and it was bad, okay? Like, that is not how you have a discussion, and I shouldn't have acted from that defensive position. She didn't owe me an explanation at all. And we ended up having a conversation after, and she expressed to me that, you know, to me, I'm just asking a question. But to her, it's bringing up 20 years of bullying and trauma that she wasn't prepared to talk about. And that's not fair. And that just really opened my eyes, not just to that incident, but to probably a lot of microaggressions I've contributed to just from not knowing, just from being ignorant. And it is not the job of Black people to educate us on Black culture, and I'm sorry for that. I apologize to her in private, but to anybody that watched that episode who was hurt by it, I'm also sorry to you. And I realize that there are many people who may not change their views of me. For a lot of you, this is your introduction to me, so I get it. A lot of you might not even see this video. A lot of people won't see this video. I felt like it was still necessary to say, and I'm sorry that I didn't say it, all of it, in the first video. It's not that I didn't mean it, and it's not that it wasn't there. It's just that I didn't put it all together and articulate it, and so I'm sorry for that. I've been on the internet for 12 years. That's a long time. I've definitely made mistakes in my past. Everyone has. I'm human. I've been in comedy for longer than that, and the landscape of comedy has changed a lot in that time. Humor has changed a lot. Jokes have changed a lot. Lines have shifted a lot. Things that I thought were totally cool to say, I don't think are cool to say anymore. And I'm not saying that to justify any jokes that I've said in the past, but I'm reflecting that I have changed, and things do change, people do change. I am not the same person I was 12 years ago. I hope you aren't either. And 12 years from now, I hope I'm not the same person I am now. And I hope that my actions and content and everything that I put out continues to reflect that. I know I'm gonna make mistakes again, I know. But at least this is a step in the right direction. I'm not demanding your forgiveness. That is totally up to you. That is not my call. I am very sorry for what I have participated in, what I've done, any hurt that I've contributed to, but I'm not demanding forgiveness. All I ask very kindly is that you stop harassing my friends, family, and coworkers, because they have nothing to do with this. One last thing, because I really want to clear this up, and I said I would at the beginning of the video, but a lot of people thought that it was really disingenuous that our first video, the first apology video, was uploaded unlisted to a channel that wasn't either of our main accounts. And I really want to clear that up so there's no loose ends there. This is so stupid and technical, but it was 3 a.m. when we were recording the video, and I wanted to upload it directly to Twitter since that was the source of where all the messages were coming from and where everybody was having the conversations. So I exported the video and it wouldn't upload to Twitter, and I exported it 2 more times. It takes a long time to export videos and to try to upload them. It never worked on Twitter. I did 3 different formats, didn't work. So then I was like, okay, I'll just upload it to my YouTube channel and then link the video to Twitter. Well, my YouTube channels are actually operated on the back end by my MCN, so they control the monetization. And I wasn't able to manually turn off the ads on the video. The last thing I want anyone to do is come to an apology video and get bombarded with a bunch of ads. So then we were like, let's upload it to Steve's channel. Cool. Well, Steve's channel's main account, we didn't have the password for. It's always logged in on his computer, but not on mine. And I had a hard drive that was Mac formatted, and so it didn't work on his computer. So then he had to give me the password and info for his other account, and his other account doesn't have any subscribers. So I posted it. I thought that looked weird to have it on that channel, but I thought also like it's just for Twitter, so I'm just gonna post the link right away, and then we can do a new video on my channel after my MCN is open on Monday. So, oh yeah, this happened in the middle of a weekend. This happened on Saturday, well, early Sunday morning at 4 a.m. So the MCN was not open. I knew the soonest I could talk to them was Monday. Today's Monday. Got it handled. Hopefully you're not seeing ads on this video, but if you are, I'm sorry for that too. Anyway, I know I'm not perfect in any way. I'm incredibly flawed. This is a moment of embarrassment. This is a moment that my past took a huge L. Crazy L, and I am so sorry. If you made it this far, thank you for taking the time to watch this.